Amara always thought dreams were just fragments of a restless mind, but lately hers were too vivid, too sharp, too real. Every night she saw herself in places she had never been, in bodies that were not hers. Sometimes she was in a candlelit room, paintbrush in hand, the air thick with turpentine and longing. Other nights she was barefoot in a Kenyan forest, humming old songs while crushing herbs in a wooden bowl. And then she would wake up, back in her small apartment in Nairobi, trembling, heart hammering, as if she had lived an entire lifetime while she slept. At first she thought it was stress. She was a 28-year-old journalist working long hours, barely sleeping, but when she found herself instinctively speaking Spanish to a stranger at the market, or recognizing medicinal plants she had never studied, Amara knew something was terribly wrong. Or terribly right. The breaking point came one afternoon when she visited the Nairobi National Museum to cover an art exhibition. She stopped in front of a painting of a young Spanish woman holding a crimson rose. Her knees buckled. The woman in the painting was her, not looked like her. No, it was her. The nameplate read, Elena de Alvarado, 1784–1803, Spanish painter, died tragically at 19. A shiver ripped through Amara. She was 28. Elena had died at 19, but the eyes, the tilt of the lips, even the faint birthmark on the neck, everything was identical. That night the dreams deepened, and the past returned. Spain, 1799. The salty breeze of Cadiz drifted through an open window as Elena de Alvarado painted furiously, her brush dancing across canvas like a secret lover. She was young, brilliant, and trapped in a society where women were expected to be obedient wives, not artists. But Elena had a fire that no rules could extinguish. She painted her soul into every stroke, capturing light as though she were in love with it, and in a way she was. For she had met him. Alejandro, the merchant's son with ocean-blue eyes who recited poetry in the shadows of the cathedral courtyard. He believed in her, adored her art, and whispered promises of a future where love was worth more than gold. But Elena's father had other plans. Alejandro was poor, unsuitable. She was to marry Don Marco, a wealthy aristocrat with power and status. Her life became a tug-of-war between love and duty. She and Alejandro would meet in secret, their kisses stolen in dark alleyways, their hearts pounding with the fear of discovery. And then came betrayal. One night Alejandro was lured into a trap, captured, accused of theft, and beaten within an inch of his life. Elena suspected Don Marco's hand in it, though she could never prove it. Her desperate attempts to see Alejandro again were blocked. Days later he was gone, vanished into the sea, his body never found. Elena painted one final masterpiece, the portrait that now hung in Nairobi. In it she held a crimson rose, the symbol of a love cut too soon, and then, grief-stricken, she ended her life by swallowing laudanum. The dream ended with Elena gasping for air, her lips stained red. Amara woke up screaming. The next dream carried her further, into another skin, another era. Kenya, 1923. Her name was Nia, a healer born in a Kikuyu village. She was known for her gift, herbs, chants, and hands that soothed fevered brows, but with her gift came suspicion. Some called her Muthoni wa Dawa, the woman of medicine, others whispered witch. Nia carried the burden quietly until she met Daniel, a British officer posted to oversee the colonial farms. He was unlike the others, gentle, curious, fascinated by her songs, and the way she spoke to the earth as if it were alive. Their love was forbidden, yet it blossomed tender and fierce. They met in the forest, where she showed him how to grind roots into healing paste, how to listen to the hum of insects as if they carried messages. He read her poetry by lantern light, the same verses Alejandro once whispered to Elena centuries earlier. History was repeating itself, and so did tragedy. When the villagers discovered her secret meetings, fear spread like wildfire. They accused her of using witchcraft to lure a white man. Daniel was recalled, their love severed by walls of prejudice. One night Nia was dragged to the edge of the forest, accused of betrayal and beaten. She died clutching her herbal satchel, whispering Daniel's name into the wind. Amara woke with bruises on her arms, fresh, raw, impossible. Amara's nights became unbearable, memories blurred with reality. She started drawing sketches of Alejandro, Daniel, Elena's paintings, Nia's herbs, things she had never studied but remembered with aching clarity. The worst part was the man she met at the museum weeks later. His name was Adrian. He was a visiting Spanish historian, researching colonial connections between Spain and East Africa. When Amara shook his hand, the world tilted. She knew his touch. His eyes storm blue, his smile familiar, his presence dangerous. She had loved him twice before, as Alejandro, as Daniel, and now he stood before her again. Adrian felt it too. He confessed over coffee that he had dreamt of her for years, though he never understood why. "When I saw you at the gallery," he said, voice trembling, "I thought I was losing my mind. You're her." Their bond reignited instantly, but with it came shadows. Amara started seeing flashes of Don Marco, the cruel aristocrat, and of the villagers who condemned Nia. Past lives were bleeding into the present, old enemies, old debts. One evening, Amara's apartment door was scratched with a crimson rose. No one had left it, but she understood, history was circling back. Part 5, The Choice. The final dream came like a storm. Amara found herself in a vast hall of mirrors. In one reflection, Elena stood with paint-stained fingers, eyes filled with sorrow. In another, Nia clutched her herbs, her body bruised but her spirit unbroken. In the center stood Amara, torn, trembling. A voice whispered, 3 lives, 1 soul, 1 choice. Elena begged her not to let love destroy her again. Nia urged her to fight, to heal, to break the cycle. And Adrian appeared, stepping out of the shadows. "Amara," he said softly, "if this is true, then maybe we're cursed. Maybe we're doomed to meet and lose each other over and over. Do you want to risk it again?" Her heart ached. Every fiber of her being wanted to hold him, to love him beyond time. But the weight of 2 deaths, 2 tragedies, pressed on her. Tears streaming, she whispered, "Not this time. Not unless I can break it." She reached into the mirror, taking both Elena's brush and Nia's herbs. With them she drew a circle of light around herself. The glass shattered and the voices faded. Amara woke with sunlight on her face, her hands trembling, but free. The bruises were gone, the nightmares ended. Adrian called that morning, asking to see her. She hesitated, then smiled faintly. Maybe the cycle was broken. Maybe this time they could write a new ending. Or maybe fate was only sleeping, waiting for the right moment to awaken again.